Welcome to the show, guys.
Woo.
2 years.
Oh,
Oh.
already? Wow. 2 years older.
2 years older. That's crazy, man. I'm sure you guys have been extremely busy preparing. And I think the last time you guys were on the show, we were talking. You guys were like, "Yeah, Shiro's Head is the 10 years in 2 years."
Wow, yeah.
Right.
And here you are.
Here we are.
Here you are. How's it going? What's going on?
What's poppin'? What's new? Well, these days I'm committed to just a handful of things. Guam International Film Festival.
You guys
being
are still
that.
heavily involved.
Yeah. Well, just recently I've taken on the role of executive director, so that's a new journey for me.
Yeah.
I'm really learning like the nuts and bolts behind the scenes.
And what's the difference from what you guys were doing before with GIF?
Before, our executive director at the time, JD Iriarty, he handled all the executive, matters of the organization. And so we were more so like the event coordinators and kind
I
of
see.
saw things from the ground and worked like the event and coordinated the event and, curated the films.
So
and
you just became admin then?
pretty much. So, it's new, it's totally different, but I'm learning to enjoy it.
How about you, Kel? What's I know you've been
Wow.
teaching.
Yeah.
That's something new since the last time you were on. You weren't you may have been talking about it or mentioned it too, but now you're like full blown into what, 4 semesters?
Pretty much it's every other semester for each class.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
Teaching 2 different courses, which is the mass media experience, and we teach live broadcast, kind of like the same similar setup that you guys have with Master Random.
Okay.
And of course the independent filmmaking course that we have. That's always fun. But the teaching aspect is great. Being able to see these groups. I don't want to call them kids, but at my age, everyone's a
Kids,
kid.
yeah.
But
Hey.
you see these
Babies.
this group of students come in, and like for example, this last semester, I had majority of my students were business majors, and so many of them haven't been involved in any type of production whatsoever. So taking, someone who's not production savvy and having them create a film is pretty fun. One of my courses or classes, I think it was probably a year and a half ago or a year ago, they produced a film that got accepted to Tahiti. There's a
Nice.
film festival in Tahiti that picked them up. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
So teaching's got me busy. GIF, of course, is a year-round thing. It always has been for me as a programmer. By the time they see me resurface, though, it's time for the event, usually in the fall. But yeah, I'm curating the films, all year long. So that, of course, has me busy.
Yeah, Don mentioned you guys are looking like over 100 films or something like that.
Yeah, actually, every year is over 100 films. This year, we're expecting anywhere from 300 to 400 films.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And this is the what year? The
This
10th year.
No, Shiro's Head
Shiro's
is our
Head is
10th.
the 10th
yeah,
year.
This is year 8
Year
for
8.
GIF. Yeah.
Hundreds of films. Did you imagine it growing to be of this magnitude?
No. I think when we did it,
From the first time, how many in the first film stuff?
I can't recall. I think it was probably
Just a little over 100, right? Or
Yeah,
was it
if
like
if
150
if
or
that,
something
it
like
was
that?
to the point where we were calling all of our colleagues in other countries in Pacific Asia and in the mainland, and hey, what do you guys have? Can you
Yeah,
throw something
yeah.
over? It's our inaugural festival, and we want to put on a good show for our home. And so it went from that to taking Guam in its obscurity as a film destination, and now we get submissions from Columbia, NYU, Cannes, Sundance, Slam Dance. It's great. I mean, on
yeah.
any given day, I'll look at my submission inbox and see these really high caliber films, and then I'll also see like a first time DIY filmmakers film. So it's really cool. I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm in to be a part of their filmmaking journey. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, has the amount of local filmmakers grown over the years?
You know, I'd have to say, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd have to say it kind of plateaued for a little bit.
Interesting.
When the film festival first came to fruition, it was I think our first 3 years was probably the most powerful in terms of local filmmaking. I think because, well, from an organizational standpoint, you know, one of the avenues that we focus on is free education, film education, and so that, like, in terms of like developing filmmakers on Guam has always been, you know, our main thing. We've always wanted to develop that, and that's one of the reasons.
It would seem like the purpose of having a film festival is to encourage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it became, when GIF became, then there was so many areas in which there were people that wanted to participate. So I mean,
Do I
they
need
were
to
like,
move it?
so there were.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it needs to move down. Sorry.
It's okay. No worries. No worries. There we go.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so watching the filmmakers kind of develop, it wasn't like there was any new ones sprouting,
Yeah.
which kind of, you know, explains why Kel got into teaching and why we're focusing our efforts in education and free film education, because although the event became popular and then there was more viewers and there was more people in the community that wanted to support the organization, we didn't have enough resources to develop curriculum, you know.
Well, I guess it's beneficial that Kel got into the university system.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Extremely.
It was difficult though. It wasn't like a plug and play.
Really?
It was with all credit going to Troy McVeigh and Dr. Beth Samara. You know, they helped us get in the door, and then it was left up to me to write the curriculum for the course, which I've never done before. Like, what do? You can't Google.
And I'm like,
I've
dude,
just been doing this straight from my brain.
I'm asking Kel, I'm like, bro, what are you doing, bro? I need you. Like, we got work to do. What the heck are you doing?
You can't spend time making a fucking curriculum right now.
That's pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
And you know, to their credit, they believed in the value of that too, in film education, and so it was the first film course. And so they're monumental, but they're still baby steps. They're very big baby steps along the way. And so so education definitely to help cultivate the next crop of visionaries.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying, I'm thinking like maybe people started to see the kind of talent that was here to make videos and maybe discouraged people to come out for the first time. Like, oh man, maybe my movie's not good enough.
That could have been. I mean, and that's my point. You know, we didn't have a system of measure to be able to, you know, properly, you know, take measurement or understand the effects of our organization. So now that I'm in the executive seat, I'm able to, you know, create measures and kind of analytics to help us understand where we're most effective, where we need to grow, you know, where we need to allocate our resources. So stuff like that. And so I think what we just want to do is just focus on education, period, you know, and films will just end up, I'm hoping that films will just end up, you know, in Kel's inbox.
Oh, and that also is a good segue to the island-wide youth film competition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the programs that we have helped develop alongside our partners, Pacific Daily News, is the Island-wide Youth Film Competition. So right now, we've launched our first project, which was, when did it wrap up? Like March. And so basically it's an island-wide call out to youth in middle school and high school, and it's just a cold call for films. And so it's pretty cool because it for us, it was a starting point to kind of get a gauge as to where,
for sure,
you know, people are at, you know, in terms of filmmaking.
Dude,
Like where,
maybe you should even think about extending it down to the elementary school level.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it may be elementary, but
yeah, right.
even maybe a high schooler would make an elementary video kind of film.
Yeah. We want to. We want to be able to cover the entire, school system, but it's just a matter of, resources and,
Yeah, for sure.
aligning ourselves with good partners with the same vision and that's it, man.
Is it difficult to sort of find people to invest in the industry? I mean, you guys have been in it, I mean, forever, man, and you've seen. I think you guys are sort of the pioneers of where film is at today. Sorry, I didn't mean sort of. You guys are the pioneers of where
No, sort of.
film is at today.
Sort of, bro. Sort of.
To win stateside awards, international awards, and it seems like it's not where you guys would imagine it would have been.
Well, I guess I'll start with, in my, perspective, it's a lot further along than I ever thought it would be.
Okay.
I have, though, it's only because through the course of the years and when you don't see us like in the newspapers or whatever,
Right.
we're still grinding, and we grind, except now a lot of the work takes place behind the scenes, in a more admin capacity, a more organizational capacity, and formulating these programs, whether they're through education or the arts, or partnering up with other nonprofits or media partners to think of these cohesive ideas to get it moving, and just that juggernaut of a boulder.
I think it's ready. I feel like it's ready. I feel like the talent's there,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's having a hard time boosting off.
Yeah, simply because of the lack of organization. So, it's all there, but it needs to feed into,
A single,
yeah,
sort of like create a guild or a union
Yeah, I mean,
of filmmakers.
yeah, I mean, there's all types of things that need to happen in order for us to completely, to completely benefit from the industry.
Yeah.
So there's so many things. I mean,
There just needs to be a creative art board, and it'll just have 10 people who meet every 3 months, and they determine where the money is going to go, if it's going to go to the painters or the filmmakers or the musicians.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now though, the Guam Economic Development Authority is working on the rules and regulations for the Guam Film Office. It passed into law a handful of years ago, I want to say.
Guam Film Office
Guam
within GITA?
Yes, within GITA. So it is written into law now, and there is actually, on paper, there is a film office, but because the law and the rules and regulations haven't fully been, approved by the legislature, there is no allocation for for that. In all the governmental budget cuts, we have so many basic needs for the island, so it's easy to just kind of say, film, we don't really need that.
Oops,
and in some,
Oops. Damn.
and in
Fell
a way
under the
they're
desk.
yeah. But in a way they're they're right. Like there's so many things. There's so many more.
But does it have
critical
to be?
needs.
Does it have to be government funded?
It doesn't. It does not have to.
But
be.
there are a lot of entities, like film entities, that are funded by their local government, right?
All of them are. Right?
All of them.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's a business.
Ah.
It's an industry. It's
see,
like the
I
same
see.
as the contractors board. It's like there's a group of contractors that come to Guam because there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
And so it as soon as
So if GITA, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go for it.
So as soon as GITA opens up sort of that film office, that office would be responsible for, how do I say this? Responsible for making all the films that the government makes, and it'd be technically in-house.
Well, what they would be is somewhat of a public-private liaison. So because the government has all the resources and all the the network, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Steven Spielberg wants to make a film on Guam and he wants to blow up a couple of cars in the middle of Marine Drive or down at Retidian, then the Guam Film Office will be able to have him, you know, create that, you know, within our rules and regulations. And so they help. They also, you know, they assist in production, but at the same time they create like tax incentives, tax incentive packages for production companies that
To do business
here. So let's say, for instance, a Korean film company.
Right. So technically, everybody who's foreign that's shooting film and taking their film and making money off the footage should be regulated by this film office.
Yes,
Fuck.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, you know, there's record.
That's money lost right there.
Well, there's record actually from my friends over at GIMCA, the Guam International Media Coordinators Association. It's a nonprofit organization that comprises of like five Japanese and local business entities that do work in production.
Yeah.
So they've done things like, basically any hot Asian music video or, you know, what is it, like Sakura beer, you know, commercial. You know, they do high-end stuff on Guam, and to their account, or based on their account, they've seen more than tens of millions of dollars annually spent on Guam for production. So technically, there are millions of dollars being spent already on Guam in film and photography. So it's just,
but not being.
Yeah,
it's not being spent here.
Oh.
Here, right?
No, it is being spent here. It's just not regulated. So, you know, like, okay, so you know when you come in.
Oh man, I didn't expect to get into all this.
So,
dude.
okay, imagine you're coming in on a flight, right? And then the
yeah.
Customs and Quarantine form says, "What are you here for?" Right?
Uh-huh.
Technically, on that form, it should have like film industry, business, you know, or business film industry. So they have a tax bracket, and they have analytics as to what types of business is being conducted on Guam. That way, when the money is being spent, that money would then go to a particular account or a certain percentage, kind of like GHRA, like the Guam Hotel and Restaurant, right? So like they get the hotels and restaurants, they get taxed, and then that money goes into the Tourist Attraction Fund, and then the Tourist Attraction Fund goes through GVB, then GVB allocates that money out to promote Guam and help tourism. So it's kind of like the same principle. There's money being spent here on Guam that's film and media related. So that money, I feel, needs to be
taxed.
Yeah, taxed, or at least some oversight, so it's allocated to the right industry to help, you know, to help sustain and increase revenues for that business.
What do you think, Cal?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Public, private, all the way. You know.
Yeah. I know that was a mouthful, Doug.
You can but it's true.
And dude, that's some shit I've never heard or even existed.
Yeah.
It's what the founding forefathers built America on. You know, taxation, representation, all that stuff.
Right.
And
so,
media.
And yeah, absolutely. And so the formula is always that. You can have a dream, and you can have an idea, and you can have, you know, all of the moxie, balls, guts, whatever you want to call it, right? But if you're looking further and you know, way beyond in terms of a vision, and, you know, to make a couple movies here and there, that's fine. Anyone can do that. But to create an industry, a self-sustaining industry.
Right.
Donna and I have been pounding the pavement with GIF for, this will be our 8th year. And just that alone, with all of the tourism-related promotions we've been involved in just through GIF, and the facilitation of the event itself, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work. Like, it's pretty much a full-time gig, depending on how you allocate all these hours. And that's just the film festival aspect of it alone.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about facilitating, an industry that can take care of filmmakers, or what's going to quote unquote push it over the edge and turn it, into a success. There's so many different types of factors that go into it, and the major cog in it is that, is the proper taxation and allocation of these productions, and basically just exactly what Don said.
And that money spent can just be like food to pay the actors or something.
Yeah,
like
bro.
that, right?
Well, here's a fun fact. I love to share this fact because Guam is all about its food, and we have the best food in the world.
Agreed.
60% and more from every film production goes to craft services.
Really?
Yes. So let's say somebody has $1 million budget. Well, $500,000 to $600,000 is going to be craft service money.
And is that just a general understanding?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, you can easily do the computation in your head. You have, let's say, 50 people or 100 people on your production crew. Then you fly them in. They're going to have to eat when they're on location. And so every day they're going to have to eat 3 times. So that's like, but yes, that is a general fact of film production budgeting.
How do we get a Asian sitcom to shoot here? Do we
They
need like a
have.
word? Do they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
You can
And
probably pull
also,
up some on YouTube.
Yeah, and
Check it out.
I remember soap opera, I believe.
Yeah.
Really?
What's the group? What's that? Remember that Japanese, all-female Japanese group that they shot like 4 years ago here or something? But they shot at
I forgot.
a Runao.
And
Was it a
Paseo.
porno?
No. No, I saw that one. It wasn't that one. Yeah. No, it wasn't that. That was different. But
Oh
But-
man.
But they are, and that's the thing. They are shooting here. There is pornography here.
Yeah.
There is.
Why aren't we benefiting off the pornography that's being shot here?
Yeah.
The hotels. Why aren't the hotels, unless the hotels are pocketing the money?
It's the bellhop.
They know it, dude.
He's like, right this way.
Yeah. Here, don't follow the rose petals to the room.
That's badass, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we're blessed. For some reason it always feels as if we're treading water, and we're just barely surviving in the scene because technically there is no scene, but there is a scene. You know what I mean?
That's what I've always felt about the film in quote unquote industry here on Guam.
Yeah.
Is that it's here, but it's not really here.
Yeah, dude.
It's weird. It's so weird because everybody does film. Every Instagram fucking video I come by is a fucking film. Like them at Turtle Cove, like, yeah, jumping off. And then all of a sudden they're like walking in the mall. It's like, damn, that's a pretty good film, for like a minute.
Dude, check out Mighty Island stuff. Mighty Island's
putting out
yeah,
some
that's
game
so
shit.
Heck yeah.
Did you see their commercial?
Cinema.
Their
It was
Gatorade commercial?
so sick.
You
so
haven't?
sick.
No.
Okay, play the Gatorade commercial.
So
I'm sure they wouldn't mind us playing.
Those guys are my idol.
Yeah, dude, Mighty Island
Yeah. And Nia too.
Gatorade commercial. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It might be on Vimeo, right? Vimeo? Is it Vimeo or Vimeo?
I say Vimeo, but
Oh.
I think Vimeo because video. I don't know. Yeah,
dude, it
dude.
might be just Google Mighty Island Vimeo, and it should bring up their profile.
Yeah, but man, they're hella talented. Those guys are those guys are the ones. Like
And it seems like they're extremely patient with their work for some reason. It's like they're not in a rush, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't even know they're doing it. Like that
Yeah.
Gatorade commercial came out of nowhere.
yeah, clean, bro,
Clean.
clean, super clean, super mean. Love it.
Is it there? It should be. Shit,
It's okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's on their Instagram.
I don't know, but they're gangster. They come gangster with it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Check their Instagram. Oh, there, right there.
Ooh.
Up, that one. That's it. Put it on full screen. Full screen that shit. Turn it up.
See what the heck?
yeah, that's legit.
That's national, bro.
Wait, pause it first. We can't hear it. You might need to plug in the. Is it plugged in? Oh, there you go. I mean, look at this, dude.
I
Yeah.
know.
These are all
All
local
Guam
stars,
Peach,
bro.
bruh. So dope. Still athletics, JJ Ambrose.
I think that's Darren. I forget his last name. Jay Cunliffe.
Yeah. Dope.
Damn,
Is
There's hope.
Right?
Yes.
dude.
Sing.
That's the best commercial I've ever seen.
The best Guam
on
commercial
Guam.
ever.
Like
dude.
even states like that's really good.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
best.
I mean,
Wow.
One
Even-
day,
even-
one
even
day,
like the
people
lighting.
one day people are not gonna say from Guam. I know from Guam. Like,
yeah, dude.
You know,
and that's and we still up to now we still get ourselves caught in like, dude, that's from Guam, bro. That's not from Guam, dude.
right? It's like, you know, it is weird. It's weird. It's kind of like we're trying to redefine our identity. You know what I'm saying?
It's exactly what's happening. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, dude, right now is the most important time to be on Guam. Like, if you're not on Guam right now, you're gonna miss of what we're gonna be like in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Because
is the
change
tipping
is
point.
happening right now. Huge change, bro. I mean, what's going on today? All kinds of different shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Technology.
Everything. Technology has just turned this place upside down, and it's just like shaking everything loose. Like, all right, guys,
It's
Right,
true.
yeah.
you know,
It's true.
what do we got? And you have people coming out of the woodworks with films and music and painting and putting it on Instagram. Man, you know how many artists I see on Instagram alone? I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why haven't we benefited off of our talent pool here? Why do people have to constantly leave this place to be someone? Why can't we be someone here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's just groundwork. You know,
It
it's
is.
hard.
And dude, we are every single
Yeah.
one of us
Absolutely.
who's doing it today,
Absolutely, bro.
laying the groundwork. I mean, ever since you guys first started, you know what I mean?
And before that. bro.
And before that,
Sure.
yes,
And before
yes. Even
Yeah.
music, all the way back to the 50s.
Yeah, man.
But the biggest change is happening now, dude.
yeah, there is so much. The pot is
We are.
simmering.
I was just telling someone today, we are literally on world level now. We're in the level with the world,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the rest of the world. We don't have to wait fucking a week for the videos to come in so we
Yeah.
can watch live cable, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's old school.
You remember that,
Wow,
right?
Yeah.
We used to get cable like 1 week late.
Wow.
Guam cable TV.
Guam,
baby.
Guam Table TV, quote unquote, live.
I know. Live from the VHS player.
yeah. Live because we're pressing play now.
Look,
But it happened a week ago.
Yeah.
But the reason why it flew, because most of this place didn't have internet, bro.
yeah.
So people are like, all right, I'll just take information as it comes.
Sure.
I believe everything the newspaper says, whatever they put on the news.
Yeah.
That was the way I got information. Maybe the select few who had 56K back in the early to mid 90s, right?
Yeah,
And then
couple.
DSL, T1 in the early 2000s. And even up to then, you weren't like exactly like the first thing you do is like, okay, what news can I get now? Because now we're like ungodly put news like in front of our face. As soon
Yeah.
as you open ungodly amounts, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Ungodly amounts of news like thrown in our face. Like we've become numb to news. You know, just and it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, somebody got arrested again. And that's why I guess I'm kind of disappointed in the current media today because it's like that's all we see is somebody who got arrested for drugs or rape and it's like, damn, no more bad news. Like it couldn't just be in the police blotter on the bottom before, like no picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It is. Media is tough. Media is tough now. More,
it is tough.
More than
yeah,
ever.
I feel bad for the big media corporations here because it's changed on them
Yeah.
like overnight, literally.
Yeah. I mean, you really do. You
They had
gotta-
to adapt.
Yeah.
Like, how
gotta
can you
adapt.
still be putting out newspapers when the news already came out yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's tough.
And I think, it is. It's like all about perspective, right? And how they're going to create a new experience,
Yeah.
or make the old experience feel new again.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So there's so much it is. And now, like, everybody, it's all about brands now. It's all
Yeah.
about brands. It's all about self-promotion. It's all about, how many followers,
Yeah.
pretty much that's what it boils down to right now. I mean, the new shit is putting your phone away. You know what I mean? That's the next level. It's like, if you want to get on that next level media, it's to not have media.
Right.
And that's pretty much what happened. It's on its head now. It's on its head. So
Yeah, and a lot of us we haven't figured out how to filter the amount of information we're getting.
Yeah. I've noticed that too with a lot of the people whose age range, like my students, right? Like early 20s.
And that's like born 1998.
Yeah, so
7,
they're
6.
born in the age of the internet already, and that's,
Right.
they know it as part of life, just like how we were born into TV and all that stuff. But yeah, it's weird because they take it for the value that they accept it at. You know what I mean? I mean, with us, we have that certain gauge of, like what Don was saying, the new media is not having media, but they don't know that. All they know is what they know, which is what they were born into. And so it's very tricky, just like what you're saying. It's this whole weird shift that's happening. And yeah, nobody knows like what type of I guess process to filter it through. And it's weird because I'm 44 years old, or
damn, you are.
I'm 44 years old.
You
right
are
now.
one handsome 44-year-old.
Hey yo.
You look like no more than 30.
And so I'm really super happy that I'm able to see media the way it's come full circle. Like we always wished, people my age always wished we had the Star Trek phone. Hey, beam me up, right? And so now you have.
That was perfect.
It's true. Now we do have the beat me up.
Now, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the sound effects.
I'm
going to have to pull that out and make that my own. I'm going to
Right.
make it a ringtone.
Yeah, make it a ringtone.
Take this.
For now, thank you.
You can just put the bottle right here and then we'll just fill it as we please.
And so yeah, man, it's really cool. Like I trip out on it. I just sit back and reflect on when I grew up, having to turn the rotary dial on the telephone, or being tethered by a cord on a telephone. And I trip out like this is sorcery, and it's like it really does make me, or give me that bit of perspective on it, instead of just being automatically born into it.
Yeah.
I see it for what it is, what it can be, and what it shouldn't be. And it gives me that much more.
You're almost objectively using it.
Yeah. I like to think so anyway. I like to feel like I police myself on it on the good days anyway.
Right.
Did you watch Shiro's Head?
I did.
How many times have you watched it now?
So
I gave him the link, so there's an online screen.
Well, since you gave it to me, I've watched it once.
Okay, cool.
And so
It's probably BitTorrented anyway. It's like, hey.
I was telling. Oh my God.
For reals, give me your straight up, just honest.
I feel like it was really good for its time.
Okay.
For its time, it was really, really good. I'm wondering where the story came from, because it seems like the story is honoring lineage.
Yeah.
The background of it is how do you honor your family, and coming to a realization that if you spend too much time trying to honor, like your character Vincent, right? He sort of came to a he had that last narrative, and I don't know. Maybe you're looking at me like I'm explaining it wrong.
No,
No?
not even.
Okay.
I'm
Like
trying
he came to, like an awakening. Like he realized that it didn't really matter when he came to the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're spot on, dude.
Okay.
You're spot on. Well, really.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, the film. You know, when
Sorry.
the story came
If
from.
you haven't watched the damn film, it's your fault.
Yeah, please watch the film. I mean, please do. Please do. If you haven't, please do. I'm a little bit, like, personally, I'm a little bit kind of like, you know, I was a little bit worried as to what you may have, you know, thought about the film after all these years. Because, you know, after seeing so many things that are like high production value, it's easy to look at that and be like, damn, ooh. You know, I know.
Well, of course, you would be your own worst critic, right?
Yeah.
Being you guys
Yeah.
producing it, making it, writing it, directing it.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. I was very worried and, you know, very conscious about that.
What made you decide a narrative over?
Creative freedom.
Okay.
Creative freedom. Also, too, you know, you asked earlier, like, what the, you know, where the story came from. But, you know, Kel and I were in the States for about 8 years at the time. We decided to come back home and create the film. And so, you know, we really missed Guam. We freaking missed the island. But it was a vision of ours to make a living in entertainment or in some creative realm of some sort. So that film really was about Guam and its culture and how we felt, you know, I guess the community or Guam as a whole was at the time. So here's a real spoiler alert. The samurai sword in the film represents culture. And each character represents their own kind of like demographic. So
Yeah, I didn't notice it the first couple times I watched it, but the dots on their hands
yeah.
was their family sort of symbol, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what differentiated Matsukatsu
Yep.
to
Yeah.
Jake and Vincent
Right.
and Alina, right?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, not Jake. Yes, Jake.
Yes.
Jake. Noah was the other one, right?
Right.
Okay,
Noah,
okay.
Noah's the Howley.
Yeah.
Here's the Howley guy that, you know, that became Chamorro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those were the characters. You know, Alina being the, you know, the Chamarita queen and the female that really is the heart and soul of the family lineage. And then you have her half brother Vicente,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have you have Noah's character, and Noah's character is that off-island, you know, guy that kind of adopted Guam and made Guam his home.
Yeah, he left and then he came
Right.
back.
Right, and then you have Imo Masakatsu, which is basically he represents industry, you know, like free enterprise and commercialism and consumerism and basically everything that goes on in Tuman. You know what I mean? It's like big money, you
Yeah.
know? Like he's there to claim what's his and part of what was his is the culture, you know? They have and when I say they, in terms of like nowadays in this world, not in the movie, when you're creating industry, it's hard for you to have values when all you're after is money. And so that's where the main conflict, you know, is in that film, which is Vicente's character wanting to preserve the culture and preserve the family, you know, heritage and lineage as he knows it. So he was willing to put his life on the line to keep the sword within the family because it symbolized something more than just
Yeah, their history.
right, you know.
Oh.
But on the other side of the spectrum, you got the Masakatsu family that's looking to, you know, basically take over the world.
But technically they're related, right?
Yes, they are related, but not culturally, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and which kind of is very,
Like a paradox.
yeah, and it holds very close to us because that's our mission in GIF, is to promote, cultural understanding in our community,
Right.
but that's the film, and that's how we came up with the film, the story. And at first the story was a short. Like, we had the Shiro's Head, the Legend of Shiro, which was that vignette or that montage
Right.
in the middle of the film. That's how the story kind of first came about.
Who did the art for that?
I forget. We employed an artist,
Okay.
so
It was really good.
yeah, it sure
Yeah.
was. Kel did
I was like, damn.
Kel did the
I kept thinking, I was
animation.
like 2008. Fuck, it's pretty good. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, you did the animation.
I did, yeah.
yeah. He animated the
It was painstaking because when we got the
Oh,
art
sure.
from the artist, it was not in layers in Photoshop. It was a flat image. And so I had to cut out all of the elements and then probably recreate layers for one picture. So if you see two figures moving, let's say like two farmers, right, kind of moving across the screen, I had to cut them out. And then I had to create the plate behind them so it would look like they have the 3D visual space. But yeah, it was fun. I'm glad with the result. It's just a trip though. Talking about it, it's so long ago. It's like
I know.
10
I should have
years.
watched the film because I really, for reals, I have. Well, dude, for reals, bro.
I really should have watched the film before I came
No,
here.
for reals. I just didn't have the time. Like, earlier I was drawing a blank because I'm like, dude, do I remember all the relationships? Like, for reals, I better watch my mouth right now. But
Oh man, that's great.
like, it's been so long, and the last time I actually watched it was on the big screen, I think. To watch it in its entirety was when it debuted back in 2008.
It's been that last time you watched it?
Yes. I mean, I'll see glimpses here and there.
Yeah.
Just to like quality, for quality assurance,
Yeah.
because we recently up-resed it from standard def to high definition.
Yeah.
So, then I had to like make sure like the dimensions were good and all that. But in terms of like watching it, I haven't watched it since, our theatrical debut.
Yeah. You guys made use of that rule of thirds sort of shot idea, right? There was one where Vincent met Nick's character out in the baseball field. And
Yeah.
It was just and they kind of just came in like this.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
great behind-the-scenes story to that, bro. So you want to say it? You want to tell it?
Man, okay. If I start talking about Shiro's right now, you guys are just gonna open a can of worms.
Okay,
We'll be here for 3 hours.
That's okay.
So I'll let
That's
you,
okay.
I'll let you talk about it.
No,
Okay.
go for it. No.
We wanted a night scene.
Okay.
Okay, back in the day, man, freaking cameras could not shoot in darkness. Like,
Okay.
like it's not like it had an ISO where you can just blast it to like freaking 16,000 whatever, right? So we're just like, man, we're trying to get this shot in an interior of our friend Derwin's Forerunner. So we borrowed our friend's Forerunner, and we're like, dude, we got to get this like a nighttime interior shot. And really, it was just the phone call that Vicente was supposed to take from his brother, right? And so we tried inside the car. We even put a light inside. We're like, dude, that doesn't look natural. Like, there's a freaking light. So, and we're in Sinania. We're at, we're in the corner in Sin City at Nick's house.
Yeah.
Right? And then freaking Kel like leans up on the Forerunner, and then he looks, and then in Agania Heights, the stadium lights were on. And he's like, dude, there, let's go there.
The baseball field.
The baseball field in Agania Heights.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that's freaking DIY filmmaking for you. So we're like, but it doesn't even stop there. We go there, we shoot the freaking thing. I'm like, my Chamorro sucks. So I'm like, we have to shoot, reshoot. And then we figured out, I was so focused on my Chamorro lines, like getting my Chamorro lines right, I forgot to use the cane, because because Vicenti's character walks with a limp. So we're just like in awe of how beautiful it came out in the nighttime. We're like, wow, that's cool. That's our first nighttime shot, you know, because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to depict Guam as we knew it, you know, and so we shot that thing like freaking 3, 4, maybe even 5 times over, bro.
You're looking at her like, where the fuck's the cane at?
Yeah,
exactly.
Kel was
That was, I
pissed, bro.
think, verbatim what we
Kel
said.
was pissed. He was pissed because, you know, he was camera op. You know what I mean? I was in the scene, so he had to hold the camera. So he was pissed. He's like, dude, what? You're not. For real. He was quiet and he was like, you're not.
Well,
where's
it came out. It
where's
came
the
out
cane?
beautifully. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it was great. We had a great location for production value. You know, it was. We didn't have to.
The guys
pay
chilling
for
in the
it.
corner were they just guys chilling in the
Yeah.
corner?
They're just chilling.
They were like,
man.
what the?
Yeah.
They're like, look at these guys.
that's that little cutaway there. Of the guys on the bleachers.
That's legit.
Yeah, it was just that shot was put in there as a thank you. Because we were like, hey guys, we're gonna shoot something here. Oh yeah? What are you gonna shoot? Don't worry, man. We won't put you on there. Why? I'm not good enough.
For real, bro.
Oh shit!
I'm telling you, man. It was about a whole 3 months worth of those kinds of stories.
Yeah.
And that was just one night, and so we shot it with no cane. We had to go back and reshoot it with the cane.
Another night?
Another night.
No
Yeah.
way!
But
Oh,
the
so
guy
you
in the
had
scene-
you had packed up, gone home,
Yep.
reviewed the footage,
Yeah,
and
and
we're
it was
like,
worthless.
where the fuck's the cane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
And so we had to
We're
map
like,
out
"Dude."
another night. We came back another night, but the actor Nick
Yeah, yeah.
Baza wasn't available, so we used Justin, our homie Justin Mateo. And for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but that didn't turn out the way we thought it would. And so we had to wait until Nick was off work again so he can come back for another reshoot. So I think we shot it
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. And there's, if you watch it, dude, if you watch the movie, you'll see so many technical, like, backwards shit. It's amazing that, you know, it gone unnoticed. But I'll just lead you. I'll give you this one. I think it's Nick's character, right? That's reversed. He's flopped because in the film, right, we're both walking the same direction. So Kel had to edit it and flop one of the characters so it looks like we're walking towards each other because we shot it wrong. You know, the composition was off.
So maintaining the screen direction, right, with what filmmakers will know is the 180-degree roll, and we forgot about the 180-degree roll. And in order to maintain the screen direction to look like they're walking towards each other, we had to flop.
Yeah, one of the
Nick's
characters. Yeah,
character,
Nick's. So I was, but you know, if he left the footage, then I would be walking this way, and then Nick will be walking that way too. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? It's like super
I'm trying
low
to
budget.
remember it. I'm trying to remember the scene. So the one where you guys are kind of
Walking
this-
towards
Yeah.
each
towards
other.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you had to flip that scene because you were walking from the wrong side.
we shot it walking from the wrong side. Yeah, a lot of shit we learned, bro. A lot of shit we learned.
Yeah, there's one thing I noticed. Can I bring it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
of
Okay.
course.
I noticed you had a shot in Aganya, and then he was driving into Lotus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing too. We never tried to stay
Geographically correct.
correct.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I figured too. Because I mean, even if you were, you want to have off-island viewers, they won't even be able to notice the
Yeah.
difference. I think even the average viewer wouldn't even be able to notice.
Well,
the difference.
it was funny too when we showed the movie on Guam. People had to rewatch it maybe 2 or 3 times because the first time they kept saying, "Hey, I know where that is."
Yeah.
Or, "Hey, how come you put like that?"
Yeah.
It's like you were in again. Now you're
Yeah.
here.
How was you already in Pago Bay?
Right.
Right. Dude,
He was
you know,
he was just at the airport.
they're super you know, they're super analytical because, you know, and I was telling Kel this the other night too.
It's fucking fiction, people.
Yeah. Well, more so too, but more so because, you know, people from Guam have never seen Guam in a film.
Yeah, there was no precedence before that.
You know, so they're
see.
they're watching not just as a viewer to be entertained, but they're watching for authenticity.
It's not like
You know.
viewing a film that was filmed in New York or LA.
right.
That's highly familiar that people know.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like the if I had an analogy for it, it would be like if you had a kid and you're watching, you know, little league baseball, but your kid isn't playing little in that team versus playing watching little league baseball with your kid playing on the team. You're going to be hypercritical about performance, you know, how the game plays, you know, how you represent the island.
So you think because people know you guys, people would be more critical of what the film is?
More so because of our cultural pride, you know, and our cultural
like it's a representation of Guam.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Everyone has ownership of Guam, you know.
Yeah.
We all do. Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
This
So
is my island, bro.
Yeah.
Why aren't you representing it?
Yeah.
Well,
So we got a lot of that, and it's amazing because over the years it's become this thing that that it would reach certain demographics. Like, for example, the two main demos that would always I guess say something about Shiro's, or to me anyway, would be, you know, the homies on the street, you know, like the Chet Lus in the street. They'd be like, "Hey, bro, you're the one that did that movie, right?" It's like, "Yeah, good job, bro. Thank you, man." You know, that type of stuff. I love that, man. That's my favorite.
That's the best, bro.
Yeah, and then the other one would be academics, doctors,
okay.
and they would.
Hey, B, can you get Kel water?
Thank you. Oh no, I got some.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, and they would be very, very analytical about it, and it's so fun to listen to how they dissect the film and the characters. It's just been really great. Super grateful.
Do you get offended by it? By any of the bad criticisms?
No.
No.
Not at all.
You know, I can't lie. Before I did. In the beginning, I did.
Well,
You know, I had the attitude like, you know, like, well, then why don't you do it? You know what I mean? And people would say negative things, but
especially when the film first came out.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
you know, I experienced that. But, you know, as you grow and you mature, you realize like, dude, you know, if we're going to accept the love, then we got to accept the hate too.
Right,
you know, it's just the opposite side, you know, it's the same vibe. You just got to, you know, accept it all and take accountability for it. So yeah, there was some negative stuff, and I did take offense to some of it, but in the big scheme of things, you know, I'm sure they were right. You know, I'm sure they were right.
Interesting.
What's super dope, what I really like about it, is that without that little film, there's no GIF, and that's for sure. Like, if we didn't do Shiro's, there's no way we would have had the confidence
True.
to do GIF. And you know, GIF has just paid it forward to the youth and the next wave of these young visionaries. It's so fun, like very rewarding, man, when I see these young filmmakers submit their films to GIF, and you know, they invite mom and dad and the family. It's great because you know, that feeling when you put yourself out there, just like what we were talking about earlier, you know, with Master Random, right?
Yeah.
And you go all in, and you put yourself out there, subject to all the criticism, all of the doubts, but you just listen to your gut and you do it, and you see it materialize, and people share that experience with you and they enjoy it. There's no other feeling. Once you cross that bridge, there's no turning back.
Yeah, man, it's a sense of satisfaction, even for like this show. You know, when people tell me like, "Oh man, that episode," I'm like, "Oh, damn, thanks." You know, it's like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I do. I mean, as much as I did." And it's like, yeah, you're right. It's a sense of satisfaction in seeing your creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Projecting that image having a vision, believing in it, aligning your thoughts and emotions, and just allowing the world to unfold.
Yeah, I my biggest problem with doing this show was execution, man. You know,
Do you mean like logistics?
just like doing it,
Like,
Yeah.
just when it
Finding
came down
motivation
to it,
to-
just doing it,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
starting it. And I think that's what a lot of people face today who haven't like sort of came out of that bubble or that shell of exposing their talents to the world, right? Because like we said, it's a reflection. What you do, any art you put out is a reflection of yourself. And once people start getting critical of it, you're
Yeah.
like, damn,
Yeah.
that's my
I know.
that's my heart, that's my ego on the line, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
yeah.
You're just bashing me right now.
Yeah.
I remember one of
You
my
just stepped on my soul.
yeah. One of my friends said, I remember when the movie just came out, a good friend of mine, and he goes, "Aren't you worried, man? Like what people will say, like if they don't like it?" And like, yeah, I am, of course,
Yeah.
but you know, it goes with the territory.
Right.
But the
right.
worry was more if we didn't do it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
I think
That would haunt us.
I think it would be the
more.
regret.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Truth, man. Truth. It is. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what pill are you gonna take? If you're gonna take the pill of enlightenment and understanding, you know, what's on the other side, there really is no going back.
Yeah, I think one thing people don't realize is doing something isn't just for the sake of doing something. You're subconsciously proving something to yourself that you're completely capable. Do you know
Sorry,
that this is a formal radio show
I'm gonna throw that. Sorry.
that
no. Sorry.
don't you know that
Sorry. Sorry, bro.
we're trying to be professionals here. Nah, it's all good. My phone goes off all the time. Give him back his phone, dude. Can you give him back his phone?
Babe, I call you, babe.
Sorry.
Nah, Boo got mad at me. Nah.
ringing, babe.
Dude, just get like a bowl of ice so that we can just. What was I saying? Oh, the Shit. What was I? The what? People don't realize. Oh yeah. People don't realize the. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Dill, my roommate.
Sick. Love it.
Yeah, people don't realize that just doing something that they're scared to do actually unlocks a certain part of you that you never knew existed before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I agree.
you know, you can stand outside that sort of window and look in all day long and never do anything about it until you do something about it.
Yeah.
And you realize like, shit, all I had to do was do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the uncertainty.
Yes.
The uncertainty.
Very, very true. Very, very true, sir.
You know, it can be scary. It depends on how scary you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna think of all the worst things that can possibly happen, and then you know what I mean, and just fuck yourself up.
Right.
So, you know, and here's a fun fact: like because we are old, you
guys
know,
aren't old.
we're
You
freaking.
guys are young.
It's all
Not-
relative.
No, yeah, it is. It's all very relative.
If your
because-
relative's old, then you're young.
so
Yes, that's
No.
the best one I've heard ever.
But for real, it's like, here's a fun fact. Fun fact was we didn't make the movie because I'm 41. So we didn't make the movie until I was 31. You know what I'm saying? So that's late, bro. So we almost were those guys that didn't do it, you know, until we just had to, you know, it was aching, you know. We're like, damn, man, you know, like there's no way. Like, fuck, we've been doing this. We've been in media all our lives, and then we're gonna fucking go back to Guam and be like, you know, head down and like, oh, we tried, but we didn't do it. And that didn't sit well with us, you know. We're just like, there's gotta be something we can fucking do.
Right.
You know, that along with technology, along with, you know, a lot of things. Things happened, and we just had to, you know, believe in ourselves,
and
really.
Rockford, because we did have a business. We did channel it in a business sense.
Yeah, we channeled it like half-ass kind of.
Yeah, so we had our before we did the
You want one of
film,
these?
we had an event videography company that was taking off and it was doing well, and so we caught ourselves at a crossroad. To make a long story short, and in order to
You can make it a long story. It's
Oh, okay.
fine. Right,
So,
it's fine.
Back in
So-
1977.
I didn't find that.
take you to where it all starts.
I didn't find that funny until my brain actually registered the year 1977, and none of you were probably born.
Yeah. Is that when you guys were born?
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so then it got funny, and so, yeah. So okay. So after film school, I moved to the Bay Area. Don was in LA.
Wait, how far apart in age are you guys?
3 years.
Okay.
4 years.
Okay.
Nice try.
And I was bringing you up a year of wisdom, but okay.
I'll get
So-
there.
I'm a patient man.
And so we got together, got some equipment, kind of like how you did with Master Random, but we did on the video end, and we created a videography company. It took off. We had a lot of really good clientele, and we worked between LA and the Bay Area, and it was all word of mouth. We didn't really spend on any advertising, but before we'd finish one job, we were booked for the next gig. And so it got demanding, and it got to the point that after a couple years, we couldn't keep up with the demand, so we had to hire out. Or that would have been the next logical step. And then, so Don, in his harebrained scheme, says, we could use that same energy, time, and money to expand, or we could do, something we really want to do, And so it kind of led to that, and then I ended up moving down to LA.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then ta-da! So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's trippy.
And so you guys spent some time in LA just doing media stuff, or is that right before you guys moved home?
At that point, I was working remotely. I was still working for the company I was with in the Bay, but remotely from LA. I was their photographer / photo editor, and Don was pushing the pavement out at Walmart, and that's what gave him the last straw that broke the camel's back.
Love Walmart for that.
Yeah, it was dope, man.
I worked retail all my life. I've never had the education to, get into a good job. So I always had to get the ground level jobs, But I'm the type of guy that you give me a challenge and I'm always going to try to give my 1,000. And so I worked at Walmart, and I started as, I think I started just as a regular person stocking the shelves. I remember, we built this super Walmart. This is when super Walmarts were just popping up out of nowhere. So it was in Santa Clarita, California, in the valley. And so it was like a 20-minute commute, 30-minute commute for me. And so I pushed carts, I stocked the shelves, then I became cashier, and then I became supervisor, all within the span of maybe less than a year. And there was this one time when I was a supervisor, the general manager told me, he was like, "You get out there and push the carts." It was summer. It was 113 degrees, bro. Hot as fuck. Hot. And I went out there and I'm pushing the carts. We're talking about the size of Home Depot, that parking lot. Maybe another one
Double?
of that. Yeah, probably double.
Super Walmart.
Yeah, super Walmart is what they call it. So we're talking about 350, 450 carts that I got to go get. And it's on a weekend, and there's people. I'm talking every walk of life complaining that there's no fucking carts in there. And I'm just anxiety, bro. Just freaking pushing those carts.
This is way too many cards.
Dude, hold on. It wasn't just that there was too many carts, but even the motorized horse that pushes the cart, that was broken.
Oh no.
So fuck you, bro. I'm like, huh? You want your cart, party? I'm gonna bring it to you, bro. Just stand right there. No. And so Dude, for real, dude. I'm like pushing the carts, bro. Pow. And then I look to my left, I look to my right, and I'm like, who else is supposed to be, I can't be the only one pushing the carts. And I look to the left and the right, and dude, you see like these freaking these young guys, bro. Like, I don't want to be.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, dude.
No, it's all good. Bro, that's how I was laughing in my head too. I was like, for real, bro. I was laughing at myself at that time, bro.
This is fucking crazy,
Dude,
bro.
pushing the carts. I look left, I look right. I'm not racist, but let's just say, there's the stateside that don't have work ethic. They were sitting under the shade, drinking their freaking Minute Maid, just chilling. And I'm out there, bro, in hot ass heat, like sweating, almost about to collapse, giving it my all, bro. Like literally, I'm trying to service a super Walmart with 450, 350 carts, trying to push that sucker in there in time for people to, get their shit and go. I was super anxious.
And it just happened to be the most busiest time of Super Walmart day.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, I think it was on a Sunday, and dude, lunch break. I finished the rush, and then lunch break. I went into my car, blast the AC. At the time, my brother he bought me a book. It was Robert Rodriguez, Rebel Without a Crew. It's a filmmaking book. Like, it's a book from a director that tells his behind the scenes stories of how he made his directorial debut that went off to be a fucking Hollywood success.
Okay.
I read that book right after I pushed those carts, and I said, you know what? I fucking quit this job, bro.
Fuck this.
Fuck this. I went home that same day. Kel was on the couch.
I was laying on the couch watching TV.
He was chilling. It was like, it was like a fucking, like, this is for the old schoolers. This is like an episode of Three's Company. I'm saying I come home, fucking slam the door, and I'm like, fuck you, bro. We're going to make a movie. Straight up. So thank you, Kel. Thank you, Robert Rodriguez, for that book. And thank you, Malcolm, my general manager over at Santa Clarita Walmart. I hope you're watching this, bro. Love you. That's it.
Yeah, it was true. I still remember that. I still remember the perspective of looking up in the couch. Don's in the kitchen. I was like, you better be sure, boy.
Yeah. That's his line. That's his line. He loves to Cassie me, bro. Better be sure, boy. I'm like, this guy, dude. And that's the story.
And that's where Shiro's head sort of
that was one of the pivotal
became conceived, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In sweat parking lot. You basically made love in the car to Robert Rodriguez's book. Got inspired and made a movie.
Yeah, he slapped me in the face. Slapped me in the face a couple times and said, "Wake up." Because it did. It put things into perspective for me, The book was all about how to, utilize your resources and what little you have or how much you have, but you can still create no matter what, even out of thin air, And so that philosophy stuck with me after reading that book. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. And the heat, that heat, I'm telling you, bro, like Guam is hot, but no, bro. Santa Clarita might be Santa Clarita. For real. Santa Clarita was hot at that time. And dude, it broke me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I went nutso after that. I was like, dude, for reals, forget this, man. Forget this. Forget being told what to do. Forget being, like, we gotta use what we got to make something for ourselves and because we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so whenever I think of Shiro's, that's why I said earlier, whenever I'm asked stories about it, there's the movie.
Yeah.
But then for me, there's everything else behind the scenes.
There's a prequel.
Sure, yeah. It's all the behind the scenes of how the movie was made and all these great, great stories.
I'm glad you can tie in the beginning of the podcast to this, because I think we talked about 5 other different things. Before we got here.
It's the organic, kind of self-realization that you go through
as making me cry
as a creator.
Like for sure.
And you're passionate about what you do. Donald and I have been into music and into just creating things, for ever since our childhood, which is a long time. And so
do people know you guys' secret, or at least Don's secret talent?
Kel's secret talent.
What?
Kel does it too? I don't think I've ever
You guys
heard
got
Kel do
you
it.
guys got a portable keyboard here? This guy can freaking he can rip it up.
Really?
Yeah. He plays piano. My brother used to dabble in drums, my older brother. And we had like a little band when we were growing up. So
You guys were mini roots.
yeah, like more like freaking, what do you call that? Like probably tree stump. No. Tree stump not quite deep as the roots. But
Sprout.
yeah, sprout, right? Yeah. The sprout of me is sprout. That's good. But yeah, so we that's how we started actually. It's just old school, back in the days there's no internet and stuff like that, no aircon, it's like, damn, what are we gonna do? It's just us three, so it's kind of like you just create stuff, and most of it came from music. Where did you get that keyboard? I remember this SK1 that my brother borrowed a keyboard from a friend of ours, and that was how it all started.
Yeah, because we couldn't afford one, so I just had to borrow his for like the weekend. He's like, I don't know if I can let you have, because my dad said I was like, just for the weekend.
Yeah.
And so
This is when we were staying in Agani Heights, and
I've had those questionable. I don't know if I want to let you borrow it. Like, dude, I was just a few days. Fuck, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
so we fell in love with the creative process.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved.
And
from
it
there.
is, and I think that's what new creatives need to realize, is that it's a process, right? It's not a create something in one night and that's it,
Yeah.
and it's
But it can be
difficult. It's
too, right?
difficult. It's easy to say, but it's hard to realize and hard to go through it, because it's grueling, because you don't know what the process is for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's all a guessing game.
Yes.
Yeah, you can have the utmost confidence in the world, but you still don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know what's
Absolutely.
going to be presented to you. And I don't know.
Absolutely, bro.
That's
No,
the
that is the
I feel
truth.
like that's a creative process. It's a never-ending
Yeah.
game.
That is the truth. It's
I agree,
it's for me, it's like, I mean, I've never, I'm not an archer, but that's how I would, describe it, is that like you got a target, right? You don't know how you're going to hit that target, but you try your best to hit the target. And if you don't, then you got to figure out how you're going to score,
Right.
It's like you try to align your vision, because you too are a musician. So you understand, like, oh, I'm inspired. I got this song. I got this vibe. I got this rhythm or whatever. Then you create this thing, and it really wasn't what you were intending to create, but it's dope anyway.
Yeah.
So you're just like, fuck it, I'll just do that.
Yeah, most of that shit that I've seen on the loop, I mean that you've heard on the loop, I don't
Right.
even know where the fuck it came from. From
Right,
hip hop
right.
beats to EDM beats, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even know I had that in me. But yeah,
We never do.
Yeah, you never do.
Yeah.
It's like it's a constant surprise unless you really know your skill and talent. But if you're just an early creative, like, I'm good at that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do this.
But it feels good. It feels good when you find something,
Yeah.
something simple that you enjoy, that can occupy your mind and your emotions and just keep you there,
Right.
and it's just productive, I love that process. I'm hooked on having a vision, casting a vision, a huge vision, and trying to pull it together. That's my high. Like, I love that process. It's like,
Just seeing it sort of come to life.
yeah. And just, it's kind of like Babe Ruth when he hits home run, it's like, it's as powerful as that,
Right.
but it's a bigger and longer process. And I learned that from creating the movie, Cheryl's Head. It was like, it seemed so far-fetched. We didn't know anything at all, like how to display it, how to format it, all we knew was how to.
No traditional schooling. I don't recall.
Well, the schooling will take you all the way up to how to make the final cut, but that's probably a third of the
And
actual.
Kel, you're educated in that. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's a third of the
the real
process.
work of a filmmaker.
I wouldn't even say
is-
the real work. I would just say a lot more work comes after the film.
Yeah.
It's just like making the song. You can make the song, right? But then how are you going to hit the charts? Or how are you going to get listeners?
Right.
How are you going to stand? You
Or
know?
how are you gonna add other elements to the song,
Yeah.
right, to sort of create that dynamic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so much more, you know. There's the business side, there's the distribution, you know, there's the promotion, there's the there's the everything, press junket, there's, revenue shares, there's, all types of things, that we were uncertain of, within the process. We knew how to make the movie technically, we were experienced that much. But,
Yeah, I'm just very grateful for Shiro's, because Shiro's itself is a movie, but it has taught me so much. Within 10 years' time, that little thing, that piece of shit movie, it's so.
You gotta give yourself more credit than that.
I'm just being, I'm just going on the way
Yeah.
extreme. Of course, I don't feel like it is a piece of shit. Truly, I'm just.
it's a little
saying-
shitty, but
I'm just saying in terms of its DIY approach,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
grungy and gritty.
What you guys had to go through to make it
and
happen.
utilizing resources, and maxing out credit cards, paying out $6,000 and in credit cards, just whatever. The whole thing is a great story, but that alone has taught me so much about myself, and it gave me the self-awareness to write the curriculum of a class that's never existed before in a university.
Right.
It's given me the confidence to say, yeah, Don, I think we can have an international film festival right here. And why not? It's done that.
yeah.
And we can review over 100 movies on our first time. Why not?
It's given me the validity and credibility to tell my sons, look, boys, if there's something that you want and you think you can do it, go for it, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You fail. Oh, big deal, right? So it's given me so much throughout the last 10 years. And it's that's what I think with GIF and the 10th year anniversary of the film is what I would hope to impart other people with,
Right.
is that same sense of self-awareness. Like, man, if I can bottle up what this thing has done for me and give it to you so you can feel it,
Right.
that would be great. Like, I want you to feel it because it's so powerful, and it shows you that you can do it, whatever it is for you. It's very powerful, and it's given so much back to us as much as we put in.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
Even more. That's what I'd say.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's trippy.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to see the way you guys see it evolve. Have seen it evolve from what you guys created to what's come successfully after successionally in succession, right?
In succession.
That's what it is. In succession. God, no journalist would take me seriously. They're like, you can't even speak English. In succession, right?
Anyways, media's changed.
Yes, it has
It's about real people now.
tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are slowly coming out of their sort of veils and being comfortable with that sort of exposure, right? Because
Yeah,
there is a
right.
sense of exposure when you're putting yourself out there on the line.
Yeah.
Sometimes now, like with social media, people put too much out there, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, easy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Careful now.
Yeah. Who gave you those?
I know.
Who gave you that permission?
Who gave you that permission? I'm gonna like it. Oh wait, I'm gonna wait. If I unlike it, will they know that I unliked it? Fuck it, I liked it already.
I will do it.
dumb.
I will wait 24 hours for the consequences. And after 24 hours, nothing happens. Then we're all in the clear.
But
My bad.
I know. Damn.
Damn.
I know, right? Haven't that happened to you, right? When
I was
you're
just trying to scroll.
right.
I wasn't
right?
trying to like it.
I've tried. I've done that. I'm like, oh damn. Freaking like somebody's. Oh man. What can you do? What can you do?
I wasn't trying to engage. I was just trying to view for a few seconds. That's it.
Right. I wasn't trying to engage. No. That's badass.
Yeah, social media is peculiar, man. I mean, I always bring up Bill Murray's quote. You know, it was meant to empower us, but it's causes us to compare ourselves to each other, right?
Yeah.
We never become satisfied with what we have because you will always see somebody who has a little bit more followers than you, a little bit more nicer things than you, better quality photos, the newest age drone,
Right.
or the newest necklace or shoes or shirt or hat or the most exclusive this, and it's like,
And that's
oh,
just,
man.
I mean, that's human nature, you know? Like, I mean, I can't lie. At times, too, if I don't keep my ego in check, too, I'm trying to, one up. That's just the nature of being human, bro, understanding your ego and understanding how to utilize your ego rather than having your ego utilize you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Because
And you're right. There are positive ways to use your ego
yeah, it's a part of us.
to not be so egotistic.
Right. It's a part of us, and everyone has an ego, and it's it truly is what drives us, because I feel like in order for you to, get to a level that has never been, I guess a level where nobody's ever explored, you have to convince yourself that you're good enough,
You're worthy.
Yeah. And it's like loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I have a good segue to that. Bringing it back to the film, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
It's like when we did Shiro's Head, like Don mentioned earlier, we were already, in our. Well, I was in my late or early.
early 30s. You were
Early
probably
30s. You were late
32.
20s.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
29.
And so at that point, we were already up there at that crossroads, kind of like, well, what are we gonna do? We can't keep, doing a certain thing, staying creative and having no results shown. So we went into it with nothing to lose. We had nothing to prove, no expectations whatsoever, except that we wanted to make a film that we would want to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, Don and I were fine with, at the least, at the minimum, at the very worst, we'd have a movie on the shelf that we'd probably show our family. See, look what we did.
Yeah.
We weren't thinking film festivals. We weren't thinking accolades.
No.
We weren't
Not at all.
thinking
Not at all.
anything. And so we basically poured our intention into it, and not trying to please any external factor, right? And so kind of tying into what you guys were saying, even with social media, just be genuine, just be true. Because once we did, and like I said, that was another self-realization that the movie gave back to us, was, I mean, you just watch the movie. It's pretty cucks in some, areas in terms of it being a narrative. So we just put together what we wanted to see, what we would have enjoyed seeing as indie film lovers and creators and loving the creative process. And once we put it out there into the ether and let it, take its own steps out into the world, that's when other people started to say, whoa, this is weird, or this is different, or hey, that's cool. I get what you're trying to do with this and that, because it was so strange. It wasn't your regular, act 1, 2, 3, right? Your exposition, complication, and then resolution. It was all over the place, and that's why film festivals enjoyed it, because now I see in hindsight, now that I'm a programmer of a festival, whatever comes through my submission inbox, if it's different, it has my attention. I see hundreds of films every year, and they're all pretty much the same. So if something original comes along,
You
it's
can
going to
tell.
make me stop and,
Right.
and give it a little bit more attention. And so that's what happened with us. So my point is to tie it into what you guys were saying with social media and relevancy and kind of, you know, other people versus you. Just be true to yourself and just put your genuine self out there. If you're going to put anything out there,
Yeah.
put your genuine self out there, because people will recognize it. And the ones that don't, you don't need them to recognize it. The ones that will enjoy it and appreciate it are the ones that you need to connect with anyway. Yeah.
I see. Well, what if you're trying to create a character on a show? I mean, on your Instagram. You know, you find various people who are
Right.
doing creating characters on their Instagram
Right.
and doing it. You know, how do you
That's okay.
how do you stay true to what you're doing and then
Well,
sort of-
I guess I can talk from having some type of actor experience. To remain true to your character is really to understand your
I'm sorry.
characters.
Do you mean a character in a film or a
No,
character?
just
character in
character on
IG.
like IG?
Oh.
Yeah, I would say. You mean in terms of having it resonate like with authenticity?
Right.
Yeah. So really, the end game has to be true completely, not only for the character but for the individual playing the character. So if the individual playing the character has an objective, that character is basically just like a operating system. You know, it's like a front, how to reach his objective.
Right.
So that's how you stay true to your character. And I think you stay true to your character based on the level of talent that you may have and how you can perform. So let's just take like like news anchors, maybe like old school guys like freaking like Dan Rathers and shit like that, how they're very like, they're like,
No.
yeah,
On the
like they don't
news.
talk. If they talk like that in real life, bro, I'll fucking trip out. But I don't think they talk like that in real life. It's more so, how they want to convey the message.
Right, right.
And so, they created this character or this way to communicate the importance of the news, or, and they've articulated, trained themselves to articulate, words and things so people will take them super duper serious, but I don't think that dude's like that. I don't think, when Dan Rather is freaking just chilling with the homies, like he's talking like that, but he was true to that character every freaking day for 50 years.
Yeah.
And I think what made that, at least for me, because I have a little bit of experience playing a character, is that as long as the objective is true, then being that character will always be a breeze. It'll be easy,
Right.
And it's just catching the wave, man. People do trendy things, and they see the wave and they want to catch the wave, and really it's just about how you're going to ride it the way you want to ride it,
Right.
So I think that's how you retain authenticity, is as long as you're authentic to your mission. You got like Jim Carrey, like he's the freaking stupidest comedian, but he's like the most like
Smartest
deep.
comedian.
He's the deepest.
Yeah. I follow his Instagram, man. It's incredible, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, the
he's said
things
some
that he
stuff.
does. Yeah, man. There's even he did a graduation speech at
Yeah, I've seen
Fuck.
that.
Have you
Some
guys seen
Ivy
it?
League school somewhere.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
crazy is his story about how he envisioned this $1 million check that he wrote to himself. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
And like in 2 years or something, he like cashed the check. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's strong. That's a strong.
Drive.
Yeah, that's strong mindset right
Yeah, I think the problem here with Guam is that it's easy to get lazy.
That's for sure.
Because it's a beautiful
Easy.
life, baby.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Easy to
life.
get
I
there.
love
Yeah.
Guam.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the biggest reasons, my student asked me this before the semester closed out. couple weeks ago, because we were having a open Q&A and open forum before summer break. He's like, "So why did you move back?" I was like, "Well, for family."
Yeah.
Just as dope as New York, LA, Vegas, etc., Nashville, whatever your desires are, is good for you as an adult out there to experience, I believe Guam is still just as dope for a child to experience.
Right.
In this environment.
Yeah. Even doper.
Yeah, because they can run on the beach. They have a big yard to run in. They have grandma, grandpa, whatever. Just this great built-in resource, so that when they do get to your age, then they can go to New York, then they can go to LA and still be really grounded.
But I think there's a time when they need to go out.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
there's a time when it's
so
too late. It's like where they're like culture shock, like whoa, I'm like
Yeah.
35 years old, like holy shit, I've never seen any of this before.
I'm not gonna drive this.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break your thought there.
Well, that was it.
I kind of just ended it right there.
That's the shit.
Yeah.
That's the shit. That's why we're doing Master Random, because it's motherfucking Master Random. That's why we love this shit.
It's the random.
Thanks, bro. Thank you. How long have we been going here?
It's mastery. It's random.
Huh? Hour 30?
About an hour and 35 minutes.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. This is really cool. Like, look at.
Can we turn the
whole
camera to the
over there.
crew?
Yeah.
Like what
That is
the?
I don't
badass.
know where
You know, this
yeah.
is the. This is.
I don't know. I
don't
just see
wanna-
I just see Brian fooling around the whole time. I don't know what he's doing over there.
Whoa. Yeah, man.
Who likes to
Well,
put on-
I'd like to promote our 10th year anniversary fundraiser happening at Kentos at the Hyatt. It's not fully produced at this point, but what we do know is with your ticket, we are going to give you an added value beyond your belief. So whatever the ticket price may be, it's happening in July.
Okay.
So please save the date. July 19th. It's a Thursday. And the significance of this fundraiser really is basically Kel and I are, we're going to chinchuli whatever monies that the Shero's Head 10th anniversary makes.
Right.
And we're going to just give it to the organization because, GIF is funded by the Tourist Attraction Fund. And so we want to be able to, do more and expand and not have to tax the government anymore, So we just want to celebrate the 10 years of Shero's Head and what it's given to us, and basically try to keep it going and expand that, utilizing GIF and paying it forward to future filmmakers.
Yeah, dude, I think it's only a benefit to help it grow, right? In the end.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, that's where it all really came from, was the movie, when we finished the movie and then we hit the film festival circuits, we were blown away, and we were just really touched by the reception, and we thought, like, dude, can you imagine if there was something like this on Guam? And then so, we came back home, and our wives were pregnant at the time, and they were having our children, and we were basically dads for the first 2 years, and then we hit the ground and created a new baby, which was GIF, and that was established in 2011, and now we're in year 8, and we hope to continue this for as long as the community will allow us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
so
been a wild ride, man. It's really trippy. Like, I can just within the 10 years of Shero's and then the 8 years of GIF, I am extremely grateful for everything I've experienced, because it's just like, it's just really good vibes, and we just want to pay it forward and continue to pay it forward, and seeing these new artists and visionaries. I mean, that Gatorade spot,
Right.
that's beautiful. Like,
Right.
it
Yeah,
make,
dog.
dude, like, that's everything we're wanting to see the trajectory of Guam's,
Yeah.
you know,
For sure.
uh,
For
Yeah.
sure.
content creators go, and it's
Shout out
working, and
Nico,
it's
Nia,
happening.
and Kyle,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, and it's materializing right before our eyes right now. And, you know, we just want to keep feeding the next ones and the next ones that come through, and you know, how we can, and is through the fundraiser. So thanks, man, for having us on and
Of course.
giving us this awesome platform.
I didn't
to-
realize it's been fucking 2 years. Like, you guys were on episode
Yeah.
14
Wow.
and then 47
Nice.
and now 146.
Oh shit! Still on the fours. Got that 4 going on.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, that shows that you've been really busy too and very consistent.
I've been trying to. I've found that being a content creator, you need to create content for people to recognize that it's not just a game. You're not doing this
Mhm.
for because it tickles your belly button
Right.
or your butthole.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is something that you really want to fucking fight for,
Yeah.
and so you're gonna do it, and you're gonna show people that you're gonna do
Yeah,
it,
man.
right? Thank you, appreciate that.
Badass.
I wouldn't do it without my team, you know. So, but
Badass
Yeah.
team.
it's
Badass.
Come here in the camera. Come on, we're gonna break the tradition of the show. Everybody, come over here. There we go. Come on, whole crew.
there they are.
Sick.
Maddie B and Brian, you know, and we've made mistakes along the way, and we've gone with it, and it's somebody told me, Peter Kimball.
Yeah.
Pete, if you ever listen to this episode, if you're listening, man, he taught me it doesn't have to be perfect. Put it out there,
Yeah.
then you can figure out how to make it perfect. You know,
True.
you're gonna you won't know what needs to be done to it if
You don't do it.
you don't do it, right? And you don't put it out there to get some sort of feedback. If you're in the tinker toy room and you're like tinkering, I'm just gonna no, it's not done.
Yeah.
Close the doors.
Yeah, you can be
Years,
there forever.
years, and you'll never release your
Right.
your creativity.
Right.
You locked it in a room,
Yeah.
and you became a prisoner to yourself.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that's sort of what I've
Well said.
yeah, and over the last 2 years since you guys been on, that's what I told myself. I was like, you know, if this is gonna be a serious thing, I need to take it serious. If I want people to take me seriously as a sort of quasi interviewer
Yeah.
or conversationalist or whatever you may call it,
Yeah.
then you have to keep doing it. You have to prove to people that, hey, I'm dedicated to the art. I'm dedicated to
Yeah.
to the
Dedication,
craft.
baby.
And I'm not perfect. I'm never gonna be perfect. I'm still gonna be like, fuck, dude, I don't know what question I'm gonna ask you.
Well, that's what makes it fucking what it is.
Yeah.
Here's some bullshit that just came out of my hair.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dope part of it too,
Yeah.
because that's where traditional media can't do
Yeah.
that they wish they could,
Yeah.
but
Right.
only
Yeah.
you could do that.
Oh man, and it's been beautiful the amount of people I've been able to, you know, cross paths with.
Right?
Because I don't
So
see,
cool.
I don't
Yeah.
see you guys every day. You know, last time I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
Don, we were sweating on each other
What?
in a in a very non-homosexual way.
Hey, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all love, bro. It's all love.
Literally.
We're at jiu-jitsu, okay? Get your head straight, people. That's the last time I saw Don. That's the last time we had a real conversation. You know, it's like, and it's cool to sort of peel this onion that we sort of build as life progresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, every episode always ends up me talking about the podcast.
No, we love it.
Enough, boo.
Nah,
Enough.
No,
nah, brother.
I
Nah,
think
brother.
because a lot
Yeah.
of the times your guests that you invite on, that I listen to anyway, as far as your episodes, you invite on passionate people, and that, you know, obviously it's a
Right.
Yeah.
ping pong, and
Right.
they're serving it to you and you
Trading
just go-
energy.
Yeah, we wouldn't be
exactly.
here if we didn't appreciate you, bro.
No,
You
That's
know what I'm
for
saying?
sure,
Appreciate
yeah.
that.
And we wouldn't be here if we didn't see value in your platform.
Yeah, what
you know?
people don't know is that Don and Kel took it upon themselves, and we went to Tapanad, and we recorded, and they brought their camera, and we
Oh, I
actually
remember that.
recorded the first
Yeah,
video
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Master Random in episode 14.
Wow.
That's true.
I remember
That's
that.
true. And I believe I still have the footage. And the reason why I've never posted the footage is because I had audio visual sync problems.
Have these guys hook it up now.
Right? No, because it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like 2 hours long. So by the time it got to minute 45, I was like, oh, how do I sync that sucker? Tough stuff. That's why I got to hand it to you guys, bro. You guys are killing it.
Oh man, it's been so much trial and error, dude. It's been the craziest trial and error. Ask B, dude. It's been back and forth. Just last episode, I was just giving him shit. Last episode,
It was, bro. Like, he's getting mad at me, bro. You guys listen to
I
Cool
was
Shiro's
not
podcast?
getting mad at him.
Yeah.
It was far from Brian.
Whatever.
No, well done, guys.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
the team.
And you know, yeah, and these sort of things won't happen without a team, right? I mean,
Yeah.
God bless you guys. You guys have each other, right? But people who are sort of embarking on a creative journey on their own have to at some point realize that, fuck, I need somebody.
Sure.
I can't do this alone.
Sure.
There's somebody that knows a little more than me, or that can help me do this thing that I'm doing. I can teach them what I'm doing so that I can do that little more, so I can help push and take that next step.
sharing.
Exactly what these guys are helping me with, dude.
Yeah.
And I couldn't appreciate them more.
Dope.
So
Us.
yeah,
Us.
yeah.
I'm addicted to that now, though, man. You know, that's the.
I had to define it. I had to Google it and see what it really actually like meant.
Oh, did you Google it already?
Yeah, it means
What'd you discover?
it means a sense of understanding. That's the whole thing of it. It's like, I understand. You know, it's like understood. Just a shorter way of saying understood. Understood.
I've seen it spelled OSS. I've seen it spelled OUSS.
Mm-hmm. I guess it just depends on what language you're saying it in, right?
Right. It's cool. Shout out to my gym though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Figo Familia. What's
Yeah, professors, I'm sorry I haven't been out in a bit. I'm so sorry. Been so busy. Man, it's I think so in the first 2 weeks of May, I actually put everything away and didn't break it out. Ask Dill. He came out here and this place was empty.
Wow.
You know, no gear out, right, for a good 2-3 weeks. And just had to realign. Really had to realign myself, dude. And I feel like I'm still realigning myself of the important aspects of life. You know, I want my relationship to thrive. I want my work career to thrive. I want my passion to thrive.
Yeah.
Right. And dude, if you get too caught up in one thing, a couple other things are guaranteed to go down.
True. I mean, it's alignment is universal.
Yeah.
You know, once you understand the principles of alignment, I think that's where you will find your destiny. You know, is that true alignment, and only you have your own alignment. You know, it's kind of like aligning a car, bro. It's like you drive it enough, it's gonna get messed up. You know, when
Your steering wheel end up
right. Yeah, the more terrain, the more miles, you know, the more abuse, you're going to need to realign it somehow, some way. And you're going to have to stop the car.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to take it somewhere. It's going to have to park. And it's going to have to just get realigned.
That's a great analogy. You've been throwing out the good analogies tonight, man.
Snap. I swear I'm sober.
He
So-
is. He is.
But yeah, man, I feel you, and I appreciate it, and I love Master Random. Master Random's cool, and I'm not trying to give myself props, but I feel special.
You are special.
I feel special to have talked to Boo during the days when he was still thinking of creating Master Random. I was
That's very
present-
true. Yeah.
present
yeah,
during
yeah.
those days, and I feel blessed to have seen it then, or hear about it then, and then see it come to fruition. Because like I said before, I love being able to cast a vision and then make it happen. So I feel like I was there when you were
Is this,
You know, when
these
you
are
were
one of those
visualizing it-
nights right outside Wade's house,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Under the street light.
Yeah,
Something like that
exactly,
fucking
bro.
Street light, dude. I
Sin
swear,
City.
dude.
It's
Got
that,
that-
it's that
that energy.
incandescent like
The yellow.
orange,
Yeah,
you know,
yellow.
and it turns off.
Reflecting off the white paint of my truck.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, and that was cool. That meant a lot, especially now, because hearing his vision and then interpreting his vision and then being here now, it's like freaking Back to the Future, man. It's like,
Thank
you know what
you,
I'm saying?
man.
It's like you told me where you were gonna be, and here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
in it.
in it.
It's fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
Part of it.
I really appreciate those kind words.
Yeah.
And
I believe
you're 140 some episodes
you
in.
guys are officially 146.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. Congratulations,
And
man.
thank you. And just like how you guys didn't envision everything that came 10 years later after Shiro's Head, 3 years after this, or after I started, I didn't envision myself being at this moment, being 145 episodes. I freaked out when I was
It's a lot.
20 episodes, 25. You know, I
Right.
celebrated a 25 episode
25.
milestone. I was like, fuck yeah, we made it to 25!
That's badass.
Yeah.
And
No,
yeah, I think we're all fighting for the same thing, and
We
it's to make our passion our livelihood, and we all know that it's possible. I get together with one of my friends every Monday night, and we just talk and think and drink and stuff like that. And he asked me, he goes, "What's a niche market here on Guam?" And our other friend turned to us and he goes, "Dude, you're living on it. You're living in the niche market. Like, Guam is it. We are in it. You want to create it, and it's there. It's yours." There's so much opportunity here. The amount of opportunity there is here on this island is way more than anybody in the history of this island has ever seen.
True that.
And
That's
if
the
we don't
truth.
take advantage of it, we're only going to lose out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're only going to lose out. And it's the people here. I don't care if you're Chamorro, Filipino, black, white, Chinese, fucking Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, Vietnamese, Australian. But if you live here, you're in the niche. You're in it. You're in it. Create it and make it happen. And we can all do this together, dude.
Yeah. That's badass. Dude, I'm
It's the
feeling
whiskey.
that.
It's the
I'm
whiskey.
feeling that.
It's the whiskey.
Can I have some?
No, man.
What the hell is this?
No, man.
I want some. I whatever you're having.
The perfect summary of everything tonight. Yeah, that's well said,
Yeah,
man.
we are
Thank
the
you.
niche.
Badass.
This is the niche.
It is, man, and I truly believe it. I've never believed it more. I said a couple episodes ago, I feel like my purpose in life is to make this place better. That's my purpose.
Yeah.
I can't go live anywhere else and do it because I won't feel fulfilled. I have to do it here. And the fact that this place means this much to not only me, every single one of us in this room,
Mhm.
and every single person on this island. Yeah, well, most people on this island. There's no way we can fail. There's only success in our future. But I'm an optimistic person, so
It is to be.
right. To be continued, right? And
That's dope.
yeah. That's why I told you guys earlier, like, the next 10 years, starting from today, is important. It's important. It's extremely important. And people need to realize that, dude, we can do it. We're on the world level, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We are on the world level, dude.
We're on the world level.
You're hyping me
Yeah.
up right now.
Yeah.
Hype, boo.
We are. And now that I've said my piece, fuck,
Yeah.
never let me drink on the
Dope.
podcast again.
No, that was good, man. You're spitting gems, dude.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to put out? This is my thank you. You guys know this is my thank you for you guys being on the show and, you know, doing everything that you guys do to support me and fucking being on the show is supporting from the beginning, dude. You know, that's anyways. Whiskey's kicking in.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Good, man.
That's it, man. And
Dig it. I
see-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say thank you, for seeing your vision, materializing it, and contributing to Guam and making it better than it was before you started Master Random. So thanks for that, man, because you're part of everything we're trying to push on our agenda, which is, do it. You're dope. Do it.
Hmm.
Right? So thanks.
Real.
man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I second that.
Cool. Push anything out? And you want to push out the film festivals again, just one more time, just in case people
well,
forgot.
I'll just focus on the fundraiser happening
Okay,
on
okay.
July 19th at Kento's at the Hyatt. Talk about it, be about it, come through, have fun.
And we're 2 months away from July 19th, so let's give people time to watch it. How can people purchase it?
Oh, if you'd like to watch the film Shiro's Head, I believe it. You can just Google Shiro's Head, and it should be the first one of the first links that pop up on Google.
And how much does it cost again? You can rent it and
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like
buy it.
$4.
Yeah, $4 to rent and $7.50 I thought I saw to buy it.
Yeah, something like that.
Come on,
You know-
guys.
You know, I don't know. I
$7.50.
don't even know.
Support these guys. For real. Buy the movie. Buy the
Yeah,
movie. It's
yeah.
worth it. It's worth your $7.50. I know you wasted your money on other things.
Like a cup of coffee.
I'm not
every
saying
day. No,
you're,
I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying you're wasting your money. You waste your money on other things. Support local. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is possibly the cheapest way you can support local because you can fucking go and support local anywhere else. You're paying $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 just to support local.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd like to say. Just support local, man. That's it, just support local
Yeah.
in everything.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Boo.
you.
Appreciate this, man. Appreciate you. And the crew. Thank you, crew.
The Munya brothers on the show. You guys have had enough alcohol, huh? You guys are wearing shades.
That's so
Turn the camera to these guys. These guys are freaking rock stars.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Badass.
The Munya brothers on the podcast. Once again, it's been 2 years too long. And I look forward to having them back on again.
Yep.
Don, Kel, you guys are much appreciated. Thank you, sirs,
Yeah, man.
and everybody. All right, Brian, who do we love, bro? Who do we love, Brian?
our supporters, baby.
We love all of you guys, and thank you so much for continuing to support the show. We're having fun doing this all the time. This is so much fun, and until next time, peace the fuck out.
Sick. That's so sick. Damn, that's so legit, bro.